All right, so just breaking today as we record, this is the scoop. Thumbs up goes to Kotaku on this and Jason Schreier. BioWare Montreal scaled down. Mass Effect put on ice for now. And they report in the wake of BioWare's polarizing Mass Effect Andromeda. Fans have been wondering where the series, lauded sci-fi series, will go next, which we actually were all talking about that. In fact, we were speculating. I remember I was thinking, because my thought on it was, I wonder if they'll set aside the new BioWare's new IP that they've already talked about but haven't announced, or maybe they would, because there are two teams that we know of over there, the new IP team and the Dragon Age team. Would one of those get set aside and Mass Effect be handed back to Edmonton? And the answer, according to Kotaku's scoop here, is looks like nothing may be happening with Mass Effect. According to people familiar with the studio, BioWare has put Mass Effect on hiatus and turned Andromeda's developer, BioWare Montreal, into a support studio, according to 4 sources close to the company. What do you guys think of this?
I think it's sad, really. I think that, and I know a lot of people did really like Andromeda. For me, I think it is the low of the series. I don't think it's a bad game, but I think it's the worst of the 4 that they have.
Yeah, it's a high bar that the series
It absolutely
There's some really good narrative stuff in there, but you have to find it.
Yeah,
you know?
And I just think in that, it's like in 2, it's handed to you, basically. Like, the narrative is just consistently awesome. I even feel the same way about 1, which is my favorite. But it's just, I think it would suck for them to go out on this note when we know that the Mass Effect franchise...
Well, this is Montreal. This isn't Edmonton. Edmonton's still working on that new IP, delayed to 2000.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Yeah, that one was delayed. We'll talk about that in a second. So they're still working on stuff. Yeah, they're putting it on ice. Honestly, I feel like EA kind of needed the kick in the butt from the media and the community on this. It's like, you can't have developers releasing products like that.
Early access.
They got the message, that's for sure.
Loud and clear. So did every other developer that we've been working with. They're like, well, we got to be more careful with the materials we're sending out.
They did the same thing with Battlefield not that long ago. It was like a bunch of stakeholders were really mad that the game released so buggy, and it's like they have to consider all of those people, and it's probably kind of a fight between people who are stock owners or stakeholders being like, well, we need this to release on this date, and then those people being like, well, we want this to release of this quality, and they have to find a balance there to appease everyone.
I think this all started with Watch Dogs being misleading with their marketing materials.
Yeah.
And even they've taken a dramatic shift with how they present stuff and label their gameplay and everything like that. And this is just a reminder, you cannot get away with this stuff. The community is going to notice, and you're going to get called on it in terms of sales and PR.
Well, yeah, we talk about it a lot that the perception is reality, whether or not the perception is fair. And I'm not saying the perception of Andromeda is unfair. It's, as usual, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. There's a lot of extreme things about how Andromeda, opinions about Andromeda on either side, like, oh, it's terrible, it's this, it's that. Well, it's, the truth is somewhere in between. I'm Ryan McCaffrey from Unlocked. If you enjoyed that segment, be sure to check out the full episode for the whole discussion and a whole lot more on everything going on this week in Xbox. Subscribe at youtube.com/IGN Unlocked.